Okay. Whether screen is visible and voice is audible. Onkar, please reply. Onkar. Hello. Anybody please reply. Okay. Okay, okay. Thank you. Now, in last lecture, we have already started with the ultrasonic machining, right? This is the last type of mechanical energy based system. Those are non-conventional machining processes, non-traditional or advanced manufacturing process. You may call it the advanced manufacturing process. In ultrasonic machining, we have to first discuss already discuss about the what is the ultrasonic wave, how this ultrasonic machining it will be works. It will be shown by block diagram, and also we discuss the working principle of ultrasonic machining. As we know that there will be a certain frequency limit for the human ear in order to hear the voice. It will be near about 60 kilohertz, 16 kilohertz. If the frequency goes on beyond the 16 kilohertz, then the upper limit of the audible frequency, then that vibrating waves is called as the ultrasonic waves. There are two types of the ultrasonic waves, shear waves and longitudinal waves. Whatever these waves, it will be used in ultrasonics and they can be used and they are usually propagated in solid as well as gases and liquids. Then there are certain types of the transducer and they are working on a certain field of magnetization. Accordingly, one type of the transducer that is a magnetostriction transducer and where it will be placed longitudinally along the magnetic field and the material for that is ferromagnetic material. It will be placed within a magnet where the magnetic field is continuously changing. Because of that, there will be a certain change in length of the transducer, and that length of change, the change in length of the transducer, it will be create certain kinds of the vibrations. Those are having a low amplitude up to a point not 1 mm. Such a transducer is called as a magnetostatic type transducer. For that purpose, we are using some ferromagnetic material like a nickel permalloy, which contains 45% of nickel and 55% of iron. They may be made up of laminated sheets and they are utilized to reduce the ED current loss. Also, we discuss about the working of ultrasonic machine. In ultrasonic machining, you require the AC power supply, and that will be given to the generator. Generator it will consist of a oscillator and amplifier. Oscillator and amplifier combinedly term as a generator, whose purpose is to increase the frequency of the electric energy. Then that high frequency electric energy when given to the transducer, it will generate the vibration. So electrical energy it will be converted into mechanical energy. Whatever the vibrations produced by this transducer, it will be given to the tool connector, and via tool connector it will be given to the tool. Now tool is a start to vibrating, and this tool is a form shape tool. Which shape we have to produce on a workpiece? Same replica of the shape it will be produced by on the tool. Means in case of the ultrasonic machining, you must require a physical tool, and this tool is a vibrating over that workpiece, and we have to keep some sufficient distance between tool and a workpiece, and through that gap we have to allow to flow the abrasive slurry between the gap of tool and the workpiece. As tool is vibrating because of hammering action and kinetic energy and hammering action, the material of the workpiece it will get eroded, and thousands of cracks it will be produced on the surface of the workpiece. In this way, by the action of erosion, mechanical action only, the material is to be removed from the surface of the workpiece. This diagram we have already explained in last lecture. This will be the transducer, magnetostatic transducer. This will be the connector which will connect the tool, or which will mount the tool in a tool holder, right? And this transducer it will providing certain vibration, ultrasonic vibration. This will be the tool, this will be the workpiece. A gap it will be maintained in between them. Constant gap it will be maintained between tool and the workpiece in order to allow to flow abrasive slurry. Tool directly not takes part in a process of a machining. It will provide the vibrations to these abrasive particles, and these abrasive particles are the hard metal particles with having a sharp corner or edges. As tool is vibrating, so this vibrating motion is given to the abrasive particle, and this abrasive particle it will become in contact with the work surface of the workpiece, and they are removing the material from the surface of the work. So this form shape tool, which shape you have to want to produce on a workpiece, same replica of that shape it will be produced on a tool. So form shape tool it will be used in case of ultrasonic machine. That is when we dealing regarding the working principle of ultrasonic machining, where electric energy of high frequency it is to be converted into mechanical vibration by using the transducer. That is the baseline of the ultrasonic machining, and these mechanical vibrations are to be transmitted to the abrasive particle which is present in slurry, right? That will be the main machining process. It will be carried out by using the ultrasonic machining process. And whatever the transducer you are using in an ultrasonic machining, they are of two types, magnetostatic and piezoelectric. So this will be the regarding the working principle. Now in today's lecture we will start with the experimental setup for this ultrasonic machining, and what are the different parameters those are affecting the performance of the ultrasonic machining process. We have to study under this parametric analysis of ultrasonic machining, and also various elements of ultrasonic machining setup. The elements of ultrasonic machining setup it consists of sine wave generator, second transducer, third tool holder, fourth tool, fifth abrasive, and sixth no doubt you require the workpiece. So write down these elements, name of the elements which is required for ultrasonic machining system: sine wave generator, transducer, tool holder, tool, and abrasive particles. Okay, the first element that is the sine wave generator, right? Sine wave generator, what is its function? It will convert 60 Hz power. आपल्याकडे जी काही AC सप्लाय येतो त्याची फ्रिक्वेन्सी किती असते 60 Hz, and this sine wave generator it will convert this 60 hertz power into greater than or equal to 16 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz. Near about 16 kilohertz मध्ये ते convert करतो. And that high electric power with high frequency, it will be provided to the transducer. Right? Is the function of a sine wave generator. Then second element, that is a transducer. Right? As we discussed, there are two types of the transducer. First one, that is a piezoelectric, and second one, that is a magnetostatic magnetostrictive type transducer. In case of a piezoelectric transducer, some crystal material like a quartz, it will be utilized to produce the vibration, where on both face of the quarters we are providing equal amount of mechanical force in order to generate the vibration. So opposite on opposite faces of quarters crystal, when you are applying the equal amount of the forces, certain amount of vibrations with the high frequency it will be produced, and it will require the voltage up to 900 watts, and it will give the efficiency near about 95%, and it will be utilized for non-destructive testing also, and ultrasonic cleaning it will be carried out by using such type of the transducer. The second type of the transducer, that is the magnetostrictive type transducer. It is available in a capacity up to a 2.4 kilowatt, but its efficiency it will be less. It will be near about 20% to 40% efficiency. And while using such kind of the transducer, we must have to require certain kind of the cooling system in order to remove the heat it will be generated during the vibration. And whatever the vibrations you are obtain, its magnitude it will be achieved up to a maximum 25 microns. Means the maximum amplitude of a vibration in case of a magnetostatic type transducer, it will be a 25 mark. So this slide it will be focusing on what is the sine wave generated, what is its function, what do you mean by transducer. Transducer is a device which will convert high frequency electric energy into mechanical energy, that is in terms of vibrations. There are two types of the transducer we may use in case of ultrasonic machining, that is the piezoelectric crystal type, where quartz like a material of crystal it is utilized. In a magnetostatic type transducer, where you may use the ferromagnetic material for the transducer, right? And there are certain advantages and limitations of these two transducers. But in current scenario, we use the piezoelectric crystal type of transducer in case of the ultrasonic machining, because the efficiency and the vibrations those are produced by using the magnetostatic type transducer, it will be less as compared to the piezoelectric system. So make a note of these two elements of this ultrasonic machining. शॉर्ट मध्ये लिहा याच्याबद्दल. Okay, next, to the transducer, in order to connect tool with the transducer, we require the tool holder. And this tool holder, it will be of two types. In certain cases, they are non-amplifying or amplifying. But when the tool holder it is of a amplifying type, then it is a 10 times higher amplitude of vibration it will provide than non-amplifying type tool holder. And tool holder also transmit the energy from the transducer to the tool, and the amplitude of a vibration it will be achieved in a range of a zero point 0.1 micron meter. That is the amplitude of a vibration of the tool holder. And whatever the material which will be used for the tool holder, it will be monel, titanium, stainless steel. Those are having good acoustic properties and must have high resistance to cracking during fatigue. Right. Also, they should avoid welding between tool holder and a transducer. Welding must be avoided because it will may produce certain types of the cracks. In order to avoid the welding, you may go for the brazing. Right. Brazing should be carried out in order to connect the tool with the tool holder. So this slide it will be focusing on, there are two types of the tool holder, amplifying or non-amplifying. What is the advantages of a amplifying tool holder and how much amplitude of a vibration it will be produced by using the tool holder. Also, we will focus or discuss about the certain properties that tool holder material should have and which type of the material is to be used for the tool holder. Commonly monel, titanium and stainless steel, it will be used as a material for the tool holder. Write down information regarding the tool holder. Over. Then main element of the system, that is a tool, and we may use a different type of the material for the tool. You may use a mild steel, stainless steel, brass, right? These are the material we can be used in case of a ultrasonic machining. And the properties of this material, it should be in case of ductile or high wear resistance, and whatever the surface condition it will be on of the tool, it should be a good surface finish it should have. There will be no scratches or machining mark, otherwise fatigue failure it will be happen during the operation of the machining. So whatever the material you are using for the tool, its a surface condition, it also affects the performance of the system. The tool surface it should be having a high surface finish, and it should not have any kind of scratch or machining mark in order to avoid the fatigue failure during operation. Whenever you are carrying out the tool design, the overcut consideration it must be keep in mind in order to avoid the fatigue problem, or in order to avoid the failure by the fatigue. It can be minimized by silver brazing of a tool and a tool holder. Means instead of connecting the tool with the tool holder by the welding, you may carry out the joining of tool with the tool holder by the brazing. Right. At that time, you may use a silver as a material for the brazing, and brazing is an appropriate process to connect the tool holder with the tool in order to minimize the failure of this tool by the fatigue, right? So this will be a this slide, it will be focusing on a material, certain care it should be taken while selecting the material, and how to connect the tool with the tool holder. That will be helpful while conducting the ultrasonic machining on a work. Write down this point. Okay, I requesting you to write your attendance in chat box 10:27 to 29 within 2 minutes. Anybody is remaining to write their attendance? Swapnil is the last one, right? 4 are not physically present in this lecture, right? Only they have login. Okay, no problem. The next important material that will be used in ultrasonic machining in order to remove the material from the surface of the workpiece, that is the abrasive, right? There are many types of the abrasive, but in case of a ultrasonic machining, we may use the alumina, silicon carbide, boron carbide. These are the some specific material. They are used as a abrasive material. No doubt, whenever you are carrying out the machining process on a material or workpiece, the abrasive you are selecting, they must have more hardness as compared to the hardness of the material of the workpiece. And whatever the selection criteria of the abrasive, it must be depends on which kind of hardness is to be required, how much kind of a surface finish if you require, regardingly you require the size of the abrasive particle, also the cost of the abrasive particle and its life is also important. While selecting the abrasive particle for a particular application, you must think about the workpiece material hardness, and you also think about the how much amount of material is to be removed from the workpiece. So that is nothing but how much material remove rate it will require with how much quality of a surface finish that will be obtained during the machining. Such a point you must be consider while selecting the abrasive particle for a particular machining operation. Like what will be the hardness, what will be the size, what will be the cost, what is the hardness of the material, how much amount of material is to be removed, and how much type or condition of a surface finish is to be obtained. When you are going for the complex cavities and deep hole drilling, at that time we require the low concentration of the abrasive. That is the abrasive, those are having a less grain size or grit size that will be utilized in case of drilling the deep hole and forming a shape, fragile shape, complicated shape or complex cavities where you are supposed to remove less amount of the material from the workpiece. Then while conducting the machining process, certain process parameter it also affects the performance of the system. So process performance it will be affected on a surface finish, accuracy of the machining, and MRR, that is the material remove rate. As we are varying the grain mesh size, it will be vary from 240 microns to 800 microns. As we are varying the grain size, it also affecting the performance of the machining process in terms of material remove rate, in terms of the surface finish, or in terms of the accuracy. The lower the size of the material, it should remove the large amount of the. As we are increasing the size in microns, it will be utilized to remove the less material with the good surface finish. And in case of ultrasonic machining, we are directly not thrown that abrasive particle for the machining process. We are adding this abrasive particle in certain kinds of a liquid, right? In order to produce the slurry medium, and that slurry it will be producing by adding proportionate amount of the abrasive in a liquid like a water, benzene, or glycerol, right? These are the certain slurry medium in which you are adding the abrasive and you are producing the abrasive slurry, and that abrasive slurry is allowed to flow at the machining surface at the gap between tool and the workpiece. This is all about the abrasives. Those are used in an ultrasonic machining process. Which are abrasive? Aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, boron carbide, which type of the point you must be considered while selecting the abrasive particle, what will be the size when you are varying the size of the abrasive particle, it will affect the performance of the machining in terms of material remove rate, accuracy and surface finish. Which kind of a slurry medium you must have to think depending upon the particular application where you are using the ultrasonic machining for machining a certain kind of the material. It is having a different hardness or having a different mechanical property. So it all about the abrasive. Those are used in a ultrasonic machining. Write down these points related of the abrasive. Okay. Now this will be the called as cause and effect or fishbone diagram of ultrasonic machining. Means there are some input parameters. Those are having an effect on output parameters. Output parameters means that is a performance characteristic of ultrasonic. Which are those? Material remove rate, MRR, tool wear rate, cutting ratio, surface finish, and form geometry. Form geometry, it is related with the tool because we are using the form shape tool. And what are the input parameter? It will be a slurry, it will be a tool, it will be the workpiece, it will be the machine, and it will be the tool holder. These are the input parameters. Those are having an impact on any of these output parameters. If you are considering the tool, what will be the selection criteria? It will be a single or multiple tool. What will be the geometry of the tool? What will be the surface finish of that tool? And if you are considering the material of the tool, what will be the damping frequency? What will about the ductility? This parameter it should be considered while selecting the tool. And when you are selecting tool as an input parameter, what will it will affect on performance of a ultrasonic machining on these output parameters or performance characteristics. Second, tool holder. Which will be the material of the tool holder and what will be the shape of this tool holder. Then workpiece. Which type of the material you are selecting for the machining under ultrasonic? What will be the thickness of that material? It also affects the performance. Whatever the material you are using for the ultrasonic machining, if different material you are using, they are having different hardness. They are having different strength. Means while selecting the workpiece for this ultrasonic machining, you must think about what will be the type, what will be the hardness, what will be its strength, mechanical strength, fatigue strength, heel strength, and how much thickness of this material you are chosen. Then you go for the slurry. Slurry is a medium which is a mixture of any type of a liquid like a water, glycol, like last slide we have discussed, plus abrasive particles. Then which type of the abrasive particle you are used in slurry? What will be the grit size, means particle size of that abrasive? Which type of liquid medium you are using to produce the slurry? What will be the viscosity of that slurry? What will be the volume fraction of that slurry? Means how much volume of water and how much amount of abrasive you are adding in that mixture, so it will be produced the slurry. What kind of a feeding mechanism of the slurry at a machining area? How much is the temperature is to be produced during the machining, and what will be the concentration of the abrasive particles within the slurry? Means these all parameters you have to think while selecting a slurry as an input parameter, which will have an effect on this output parameter of the ultrasonic. And last one, that will be machining parameters, right? If you are considering the machining parameters, it may consist of a which kind of a load, static load it will be used, then which type of the transducer you are using, whether it is a piezoelectric type or magnetostrictive type, which type of power you are given, AC or DC power, what will be the frequency of a vibration, it will be ranging from 14 to 40 kilohertz. What will be the amplitude of a vibration you are select for this process? That parameter you must have to think under the machining parameter in case of a ultrasonic. It is like a load type of a transducer, which type of input, power input AC or DC you are given, and how much is the frequency of a vibration and how much is the amplitude of a vibration. Means frequency and amplitude of a vibration you must be considered while selecting a machining input, machine input during the ultrasonic. So all these parameters those are having an impact on this performance characteristics of the ultrasonic machine. It will affect the material remove rate. It will also affect the tool wear rate. It will affect the surface finish, and it also change the geometry of the form. So these are the we may call it, it will be a parametric analysis in case of a ultrasonic machine. Means these are the input parameters, those are affecting the output parameters. So draw neatly this fishbone diagram of ultrasonic machine. Is it over? In next part, as we covered in first part, that is what is ultrasonic block diagram of ultrasonic machining. It will help to explain the working of the ultrasonic machining process and on which working principle that ultrasonic machining is to be work. It is the working principle of ultrasonic machining we have studied in first part. In second part, we are dealing with what are the different elements those are used in ultrasonic machining, like transducer, sine wave generator, tool holder, tool, abrasive. Then we discuss on a parametric analysis of ultrasonic machining. Now this will be the third part. That is in this third part of ultrasonic machining, we will cover the effect of process parameter on performance of ultrasonic machining process and what are the process capabilities in case of ultrasonic machining. And last, we will focus on applications of the ultrasonic machining. Then what are the process parameters and its effects on ultrasonic machining? We'll start with the first one, that is the amplitude of a vibration and penetration rate. Right? These are the process parameters. If you are observing this diagram, on x-axis, you are getting the amplitude of a vibration in micro. And on y-axis, you are getting the penetration rate of the tool, right? Or abrasive on the surface of the workpiece. This will be the arrow. It will show with increase in the pressure, there will be this nature of the graph you are observing. Whatever the penetration rate, it will be goes on increasing up to a certain limit for the amplitude of a vibration, right? If the amplitude of vibration, it will be increased beyond this value, this point, it will try to stabilize. The main reason behind this stabilizing the penetration rate after certain value of the amplitude of the vibration, it will be reached. That will be the we are applying the constant force or pressure on a workpiece. That is, if you are considering this will be a less amplitude of vibration, you are getting less penetration. If you are considering this point, as we go on increasing the amplitude of a vibration, the penetration rate goes on increasing up to this point. याच्या पुढे जेव्हा तुम्ही amplitude of vibration वाढवत जाईल तेव्हा penetration rate काय राहील तुमचा constant राहता येईल. This will be give the straight line even if you are increasing pressure up to a certain value. This will be the relation between amplitude of a vibration and its effect on a penetration rate, and it will be in a mm per second. Penetration rate, its unit is a mm per second. This will be the first performance parametric analysis in case of a ultrasonic machine. Write down the first the relation between amplitude of a vibration and penetration rate. Draw this diagram, and at the base they are given the somewhat meaningful description about this diagram or nature of the curve in this diagram. Draw this diagram and write the description in short. Is it over? Now second, that is the frequency of vibration and its effect. Last we have studied about the amplitude. Now frequency of a vibration and its effect on penetration rate. It will be goes on linearly proportional if you have seen this diagram. As frequency of a vibration increases, penetration rate it will be also increases, because more number of abrasive it will be impacting per unit time on a workpiece. Beyond the maxima, it tries to stabilize. Likewise, the amplitude of a vibration, the frequency of a vibration, it also affects the performance on a penetration rate, right? At low frequency, low penetration rate. Up to a certain point, as the frequency of vibration goes on increasing, penetration rate it will goes on increasing, because thousand number of abrasive particles they are impacting at at a particular space within a span of a particular time. So more amount of material is to be removed from that particular location. So with the increase in a vibration rate, no doubt there will be increase in a penetration rate up to a certain frequency of a vibration. After that, the penetration rate it will be remains constant even if you are increasing the frequency. This will be the second relation between frequency of vibration and penetration rate in terms of ultrasonic machine. You draw this figure and write the description. Okay, with this we will stop over here. If anybody have any query, please feel free to ask me. Pradeep Sati is there. Pradeep, Mahesh Mane, Shahid.
Yes, sir.
Why you have not written your attendance when I asked to write the attendance in particular time?
Due to network problems, sir, my connection is lost, sir, in between.
Okay. Then what is the Onkar? What is your problem? Okay, with this we will stop over here. We will cover whatever the remaining part of this ultrasonic machining in next lecture. Thank you.